Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and we are back with Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike.
Hey, so something I did last week, which we missed, is I've been putting together 50 years of data about real estate. Prices, interest rates, payments, incomes, all of that stuff. And I've been waiting to show you this because one of the things in there I've calculated is affordability. It's a very, I don't know, it's a loose definition, but I wanted to share it with you. I want you to tell me if it's just ass backwards and incomplete. Because again, you're the mortgage guy and I'm not. So you ready?
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to take a look at it.
All right, here we go. Let me make this a little smaller. So let me give you a lay of the land. And again, this goes from 2000. So it goes from 1970 to 2020. Okay, so we'll go through, I don't know, what year were you born?
1980.
Oh, damn, you're a baby. Okay.
Just a pup.
So 1980. So again, this goes for every year in between. So I went out and grabbed the home ownership rate because I wanted to see where that was. I went and grabbed the median price. The median price is nationally for single family homes. So nationally speaking, people, not California, not San Francisco, not Beverly Hills, nationally home prices were $55,000. Home appreciation, Matt, what I did here is this is math. So as you can see, the formula here is I took 1980s price divided by last year's price to get my appreciation.
Right.
So that's math. I went out and grabbed the 30-year mortgage rate for that year. I did a down payment, which is 10%. It's actually a variable in this spreadsheet, which I'll show you over here. So it could go 20%, 25, 10%, 3.5, whatever you wanted to do. So we'll go back to 1980, which is here. So that's down payment. This is the amount you're financing. This is a 30-year mortgage, obviously 30 years, 360 payments at existing rate with existing debt. I then calculated the median family income of a family of four. This is not an individual. This is a median family of income, probably two income earners. Just like home appreciation, I calculated wage inflation, right? You can see it went up 7.6% from last year. So this is where I started getting interesting. So I did gross income because I don't know tax structure and all of those things for the 80s. So I took income divided by 12, gave me 1475. Now this is the math I did. So I took payment divided by monthly income, and you can see here it's 40%, roughly 40%. And I flagged that as red, meaning that there's very few banks that will approve 40% of gross. Does that make sense?
On the front end, which is just the mortgage payment. Yeah. This is not including any other debt.
So tell people about that because people are reaching out to me going blah 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 blah. Talk about what is it, front end, back end, or what are they?
Right,
called?
exactly. Yeah, and it's the calculations for DTI, for debt to income, are a front end ratio and a back end ratio. And it's, if you got $5,000 a month in income and you've got a $2,000 mortgage payment, that's a 40% front end ratio.
Right.
Then you put in a car payment and you put in some student loans, and that plus the mortgage is $2,500 versus your $5,000 a month income. Mm-hmm. You've got a 50% back end ratio. And so when people say 36 over 43 or 38 over 45 for income ratios, they're using front end and back end. That's what those two numbers represent. And, I think I talked about it in a video recently because I remember, or maybe I just responded to a comment because someone was asking about if I pay off a car, can I get approved for more? Well, if your front end is already this high,
you're done.
That might be the reason why your loan's not approving. So if you're 39.6 over 44 and you pay off the debt so that your front end and your back end are essentially the same, the mortgage is your only debt, mm-hmm. You might not get approved for more because that front end ratio, and especially now, we've talked about it, Fannie Freddie's automated systems are kicking back 40% front end, 39% front end. And it's not like a super black and white, like you have to have under 40 or under 38 front end. It takes other things into consideration. Yeah. So maybe this 39.1 works if you've got a 780 credit score, you've got 12 months reserves, everything else is squeaky clean. But 685 credit score, only 3 months worth of reserves, only putting 3% down, that automated system is going to say, no, thank you. This is a little bit too risky for our liking.
Yeah. So again, this is the front end, right? So again, I didn't know taxes. You can't assume debt, right? I don't know the back end ratio, so I had to use something. So is this right? This is reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the front end, to be honest, is probably more important. I mean, for people's lifestyle and all that, I think the front end is the more important number to look at.
Awesome. So very cool. And then just because I wanted to, I added down payment percent of income, right? So in this case, we need a down payment of $5,000. It's 31% of your $17,000 income. So
Wow.
let's go back and look at the front end since 1970. So first thing I realized, because I didn't know about the 70s, right? It was actually a relatively affordable time, at least on the front end ratio, right? We were in the 20s. And then lo and behold, something happened.
Oh,
Something
went up.
Yeah, right. Look at rates. So actually, wait, let me scroll back. So again, incomes went up, wages went up. That's what these numbers are, right? Wages started screaming. And then look at this. This is a mortgage guy. Have you ever seen rates go up 800 basis points?
Holy moly.
Not 8 points. We're talking 800 basis points.
Yeah, they go up 100 and everybody loses their stuff. And every single article across the country is like mortgage rates skyrocket when it's 100 basis points higher.
Yeah. So I did the math. Mortgage rates went up 88%.
Wow.
Almost 800 basis points from 77 to 81. Crazy, right? And that's where you start getting no answers from banks because you just can't afford it.
Right. And that's the thing too. Like 80, we looked at 39.1 and we were on the fence. Like you got to be, perfect in all other ways to get that thing to go. 46, 44 in
No
81,
chance.
82. No chance. No chance.
No chance, folks. Yeah. And oh, by the way, this is mind-boggling because I'm a real estate guy, right? Appreciation, it went down, but it never went negative.
Wow.
People are always telling me, oh my God, rates are going to kill housing. No, folks, it'll slow housing. It won't kill.
Yeah, rates doubled and we still saw appreciation. That's what those 3 years tell me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because we had wage inflation. And that's what's happening now is we're having wage inflation. See here, wage growth still up. Inflation, but again, you are not getting a yes answer from a bank in 81, 82. It's just not happening.
I know that was the time when my parents bought their first house and it was like, 12% first, 18% second.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But now let's go to today. Right. So again, what we've seen, actually, let's go right to today. Because I actually went out and grabbed the July data. So right now, the front end ratio is about 20.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, it's relatively speaking, affordable. But what I wanted to do with you is I wanted to see where it gets unaffordable. So let's just do some math. What is this? 63 times this. So we're going to find out, all else being equal, where the front end ratio, which is again, we'll highlight it here. Actually, why don't you guess? How high do you think the price has to go before the front end ratio gets to say 35?
I was gonna say 35 is a good benchmark because that's probably where you want to be, about a third of your income.
Okay.
Max. I mean, I try to encourage people to be super safe, but I wonder what would happen if prices increased by 50%.
All right. So 1.5.
Wow. Affordable.
I love that. Wow. Affordable. And oh, by the way, now your median price across the country is almost 550 grand.
What happens about with if home prices, more realistically, if they go up 20%, but then rates go to 4%?
Let's do it. That's what's all here.
This is fun. This is cool stuff, man. You're gonna have to share this with me.
I will.
Yeah. Still under 30 on the front end. So like affordable.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
there's your 32, 30% increase, 30-year fixed at 4.5. Oh, by the way, that means rates almost double.
Right. Yeah. And, it's possible, but I think this probably, supports the argument that 4.5% interest rates aren't going to kill housing. They're not going to kill housing. They're not going to kill affordability. They're not going to kill demand.
I keep screaming this, folks. We've seen history where it goes up 800 basis points or 88%. It doesn't kill housing. It slows it down. You no longer have 30 offers. You have 2 days on market, go from 3 to 33. It's just a more normal market. People, you got spoiled with 8 days on market. It's fine. The market's fine.
Right. Yeah. And this, like looking at what you have it at now, Sure, it's a 30% increase on the national average, but this, for me in my market at least, this is a first-time buyer. They have a combined income of 80 grand.
Yep.
They're buying a home between 450 and 500,000. Entry level home in the Sacramento area, and their payment is 1/3 of their gross. It would be interesting to see. I wonder if there's any data out there on payment percentage on renters, because that's something else that's probably not getting enough press, is how crazy rent prices are increasing.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, rents are up 7% nationally, and single family homes are up much more than that in other areas. And oh, by the way, they're just starting. Yeah. I've seen in my 20 years, prices go first, rents get dragged along. Yeah, it's interesting. So in the end, the reason I did this exercise, one is I wanted to see what happened to housing at different points in time. I was shocked that interest rates didn't crush housing. Didn't expect that. I was shocked that wages led prices. The other thing to show you, let's go back here, is we actually had negative wage growth. Negative wage growth from 08, or no, wage growth, sorry. That's here, down at the bottom. Negative wage growth here, 06, wow. 07. And then you see housing.
Yeah, I wonder, like looking back, it's so obvious, right? But it's like, I wonder what happens if we give loans to anybody as wages are going down. And and they're the type of products that look attractive in the beginning that can increase over time. I wonder how this will go.
Yeah, it's not good. And then I guess just the last thing, just because I like numbers, right? I did all the averages, right? I did the highs and lows. So the highest appreciation was actually 78. The lowest was negative, basically 9. Highest wage growth was 14%. Lowest was 8. The median payment, so the average was 25.2%. The front end ratio, the average was 25.2. It's getting a little stretchy in 2021. Right. Yeah. Right. So yeah,
it's cool stuff. Yeah. People are not talking about like the wage growth we've seen in 20 and 21. And the funny part is I heard something, or somebody was talking about it too, trying to relate it to COVID. And 2019 was a huge year for wage growth as well.
Yeah, it was like 8.9% or something. Yeah. Long before this thing ever hit the radar, wages were up. And again, what happens when wages go up? We have history. Wages go up. People can afford more. They buy bigger things. So lots of stuff. So that was that an interesting exercise?
Super cool. I'm going to ask you a favor. Can I share this video on my channel?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this was cool, man. I really like that. That's a cool little spreadsheet you put together.
Cool. I will make sure this video goes in Dropbox and send you the link.
Cool. Thanks, Mike.
Very cool. Thank you, buddy.